Now, we open the floor to questions. We have received some of your questions via SMS, and the questions are open to all finalists. And after the SMS questions, again, we will open the floor to questions. So we have a mic there for any of you who want to ask. Okay?
All right. So I believe you have heard of the entrepreneur sharing from various backgrounds, sharing about their experience. So don't be shy to ask what you have in mind. Okay? So if not, I'm gonna ask you guys the questions. Okay? Can you give me all your money? Of course not, right? So I believe in our life or even for business, we experience a lot of different rejections. So the question will go to?
I think most entrepreneurs will face this
Challenges.
challenge, yes. It's an obstacle that maybe the finalists can share how they overcome these obstacles. The question is, what tips can you give to someone who wants to be an entrepreneur but is opposed by their family, friends, or colleagues, etc.?
There's been getting rejection. When you want to start up your business, they will say, no, I don't want, you cannot do this.
It's open for any of you?
Yeah. I think that if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be ready to face criticism or opposition from I mean, the people are just going to people will have their opinions. So if you can't take it, it's probably to choose an entrepreneur career is probably not likely to be very satisfying for you. So I think there's a self-selection going on to a certain extent, but I think that you also have to build up your self-esteem a bit, and then just understand that you're doing something that you think is right, and then just move on.
Okay, taking criticism. All right, next.
In this question that you say rejection, the age is between is youngest or the age. Actually, you said this question is very
it's very broad.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to know the guys is what age, and then you just can give them consult. If today I give for the I say for the youngest one. For the youngest one, maybe say about 20s to 30s, okay? The youngest one, actually, they have to learn. What means is you know how to give. You know how to give. And you know how to share. And then in the Mandarin say, 你舍得多少? 你舍得多少? Then you just can create your business.
Willingness to give. All right.
Yeah. Okay. My advice is to your young people, let's say, focus what you want to do first, and then second, that's hard work. Then action, right? And then try to get more opportunities to learn more. Then train yourself, be stronger. Then anything, for me, any business actually is the same. But the attitude from the people, the hard work, that's very important. Hard work and the determination is very important.
All right. So we have, still you need to put all your thoughts into action. All right. So let Mr. Sia to round it up for us.
When you want to start a business, usually it start with the vision, or you actually see something that is different that other people do not see yet, and that is why you actually want to act on that. So that all started with a very good intent. But because you're so ahead of your time, you see something, what's going to happen around your other supporting system may not see that. Not that they have bad intent, but they do not see that. So step one, there are basically 4 issues with your surrounding. Number one, they don't see what you see. And you have to realize that. and you have to do something until you proved it. The second thing is that when they start conceptually, that they understand what you say you have seen that they have not seen, because it did not came from them, they don't internalize it, so they look down on it. They will first, well, not, they wouldn't see that, and they might look down on that. I think that would be a better way of saying that. Or they don't understand it, and that is the situation. Now, if you are the person who actually believe in yourself and continue to do that, and when you prove your point, then, you know, you can prove that you are right. But before that, you know, they will first don't see the same thing that you see, they don't understand, or they may not find that relevant, and they may go against you. But the third thing is the most interesting things. When you finally did it, when they realize what you say is true, for the person who look at that, you know, maybe everything happens a little bit too late for them. So if you have an idea, do it, act on it, have a better self-belief in it, because if you don't see it, 3 or 5 years down the road, you will see other people doing the exact same thing and benefiting from the exact same vision. Thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
Thank you.
For the answer, sorry. I mean, the entrepreneur actually giving us a very good insight on, especially Mr. Seah, he's helped us to see further and then be imaginative. All right. So let us move on to another question. So yet we come to challenges, okay? And I believe, yeah, I want to get some response. Do you want to listen to something? How about some hot news? Something hot, I believe this issue, everyone is looking into it, okay? Basically, for information, the price is just increased, okay? So, when we come to all this, yeah, petrol price, and then I believe after that, there will be like a butterfly effect. Everything will actually increase in price subsequently. So, my question is, what is your strategy for the entrepreneur here? What is your strategy to actually facing this kind of challenges? Yeah, don't mind sharing with us.
How will it impact your business?
Are we going to bounce back from here now? Okay. For me, I think there are several things that we look at it. If we take 1 or 2 steps back, then, okay, this is a view that will actually make us a little bit unpopular. For us, because our energy, our land in general are actually cheaper. It is a problem when the resources is a little bit cheaper. We don't emphasize enough on efficiency, okay? We can't change the climax, we can't change the current situation, then we use it, okay? We use this as an urgency to talk to our team on 2 grounds. Number 1, we need to ensure our efficiency continues to be better, okay? Number 2, we actually innovate better so that we know that this is going to be the trend. The resources is going to be more expensive, and that's how we need to do. If we were to look at everything, it's not just price. Yeah, we don't do, for our company, our strategy is not waste to price or the money. We do waste to value. The more important thing is the value. I was just sharing with my colleague here and the other finalists here that when we go to overseas, when we go to Europe, we tell them that the same plastic part, it used to take you 10 seconds to make, now it's 5 seconds. And then we might charge you maybe 15% extra. They loved it, they jump on it. But here in Malaysia, when we say that, oh, we can make you 5 seconds, they say, oh, never mind, no need. You sell me cheaper. My land, very cheap. My labor, very cheap. My electricity, even cheaper. If we were to continue with this attitude, we will lose out in the entire global competition. So if you can't change it, might as well change the perspective, utilize it, and then benefit from it.
Thank you. All right. Very impressive, insightful. Next.
All right. If let's say in our line of business, security, of course the currency increase, everything going up. So we need to change our strategy. We plan to export our products more to overseas country. So maybe we have a lot those fair and exhibition fair in the overseas to get more, for USD currency coming in. Then I think that's not a big issue for our this security lines. Thank you.
Thank you.
In our line, actually, you say the petrol increase actually is quite a big effect from us because a lot of things, because our company is used as transport to deliver the food. So actually for this, when I hear this, get this news, actually I get this news actually quite some time already. I know they will increase one, but don't know increase how much. Okay, so we do the actually plan before that. How is it? Is it we still can, if the price we still maintain, is it we still can get the profit, or the profit will come low, or how we have to do? Okay, actually in this thing is actually like a circle. Every years or 2-3 years actually happen and happen. So I think the stock actually is, you say the name is changed only, the story is the same. The story inside is the same. I think the cover change only. So actually the strategy we have to plan earlier. Actually it's 5 years before, or actually it's the same. I say the cover is, you change the cover, the story is the same. So we actually, a lot of things we get from, we cut the cost. Actually we cut the cost, we now say we go and buy the cheaper thing. We get from the wholesales. Like a lot of things we direct import from the China. We direct import from, we get the thing from the wholesales that we not say from the small seller. Then we can cut down our costs. Then and think there's like we cut down the time for the deliver, like maybe say one day the one of the location we have to using the twice one, then we cut down the maybe so once, try to say it's the same area, or how is it? Then we try to partnership with other shipping company also, like this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I actually don't have much to contribute on this point, but let me just put on my sort of investor cap and just speak about, because your general point is about inflation. And when you're an investor and you're looking at a business and you want to know whether a business is worth investing in if during inflationary times, what you should look for are businesses that have what is called durable competitive advantages. So if you're from a businessman standpoint, the important thing when you're faced with inflationary circumstances is that your business has got barriers to entry that allows you to share those costs, whether it's upstream or whether it's downstream to your consumers. So,
okay. Thank you. So I believe from their sharing, you have gained a lot. And then, yeah, let me ask you a question. Any one of you, especially for the student, would like to start out a business after you graduate? Can I hear it louder? Okay, great. So, yeah.
Do you want to add any questions for the finalists here?
Oh, there's
No?
a
Yes?
question. Can the mic hand over to the student?
Hello.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, okay. My name is Brian. So
Hi, Brian.
just now from Mr. Xia, I've captured a very important point that the locals, the Malaysians, their point of view, they prefer price over quality. So I would like to ask if, for all the finalists, how do you change the perception of the Malaysians about this? Because let's talk about child laborers. Americans are very concerned about child laborers, and they do not use products that involve child labors. But when come back to the locals, to Malaysians, they doesn't care much about this. So how do you change the perception of price over quality, this issue? That's my question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Price, the concept of price, it's interesting because it's simple to understand. 1 kg of this is equals to how much? Let's say 1 kg of whatever is 1 ringgit, 1 kg of whatever is 2 ringgit, you know. So from that ringgit point of view, you sort of thought that that is the value that represented, the price represent that value. But in actual fact, it's not. I think what is interesting is that if we need to, we usually, when we look at the price, that's where we stop. Yeah, we should go further, one step further. Value means that you change your perspective. Some people look at plastic scrap, or sometimes when we throw our plastic, I'll just relate back to my line of work. When we look at plastic scrap, most people would not look at them and just throw it away. But for us as recyclers, when we collect that back, we look at it like a matrix. Yeah, so imagine a matrix in a box, if you will. If I look from this side, I look at the mechanical property. What is the inherent value in terms of mechanical side? You know, if I look at, you know, if let's say the technical property is very good, make really good material out of that, and find the person who can appreciate this value, okay? If that value is very bad, then I look at the thermal, I look at the calorie feed. Hello, can you hear me? Good. So from that calorie feed, I will convert that and then basically link that to the person who actually care about the calorie feed. And then from the other point of view, if let's say that the mechanical property is bad, thermal property is bad, then I look at the chemical. What happens is that for any single thing, you don't look at it. It's usually not 1D. It's usually not even 2D. It's usually 3D and 4D. So go around, flip around that matrix, you know, rotate it around, whichever way that you want, look at it from different perspective. Find that value and make sure you go for the second step, okay? Find that value and find that person who will appreciate that value. And they will pay you more because you have actually found the right person. Because once you find that, you will find out that they are willing to pay you more, and price becomes a byproduct. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sia. So, yeah, we take one last question. Anyone? All right. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Mazlan. Can anyone assist? Yeah, there's a mic. Yeah.
I share Mr. Sia's experience because in my line of work, we help people in the community to add value to their innovation. You know, because that's what Yayasan Inovasi is all about. We help people when they come up with a product, which is innovative product. We add value to the product and we try to commercialize it. But then again, I face with whatever that you said in the same question before. It's about the mindset of people over here. We tend not to have respect over local product, local produce. You know, unless you made it outside of the country, you are being accepted elsewhere, then you are good. So how do you change that perception? Again, that's a the question on perception. Because unless you are Jimmy Choo, then we will accept you here in Malaysia. You have to struggle, you know, to be abroad. Whereas in the first world country, they will buy local product first, you know, and then they will, that product be improvised and improved further, and hence it reach the global quality. So how do you deal with that? Thank you.
There are two parts of that. I think number one came from a long way back. One is that we are operating in a society that we typically do not believe in ourselves. It takes a lot for us to believe in ourselves. I think for the whole journey of this entrepreneurship, one thing I really find, it's about believing in myself. And then when I finally got that belief, finally I would think that, hey, I can actually do more. You know, I can actually make diesel out of plastic scrap. So when you have that belief, magic happens. And that is very important. And we're typically operating in a society that we don't believe in ourselves. Hence, we don't believe in our siblings, our friends and family who try to create their own business, and we will say that, no, I don't believe you. You shouldn't believe in yourself too. And that is one of the system we are operating within. And I think we need to have that kind of awareness. And just like Adeline was talking about this earlier, she believed in herself, and what she was trying to do is trying to help the others to believe in yourself, that you're doing good work and you can do it. Now that is part one that is very, very important to have that kind of understanding. Now let's talk about what are some of the tactics or tips that we can do. What I did is that I find storyteller, someone who can tell the story on behalf of me. Yeah, I find all my Malaysian customers from overseas. I totally relate with you. I find all my Malaysian customers during my exhibition in Germany, in Holland, in Korea, wherever. But I never find them here in Malaysia. So I will find them from overseas, they'll come back. And now I actually start to get a little bit more Malaysian customer. I use storyteller. I have someone who have been in the industry. He is 65, 67. He is very specialized in this field, and he actually sells the material or actually our solution or system on behalf of us. So when you are doing your own business, make sure you're a good storyteller. If you are not, try. If not good enough, try again. We just have to keep trying. That's why we're trying to show you we're still trying, all the 10 of us today. Now, if let's say the situation cannot wait for you, find a good storyteller that can tell the story on behalf of you. And it doesn't have to be Siti Nurhaliza all the time. So, of course, I think she's a good one, but do think about that. And I think storyteller has that power as well. It's very convincing, very effective, and it's very relevant.
Thank you, Mrs. Sia. Yeah. So, yeah, what you need to do now, go home and grab a storybook, start reading. All right. So, yeah, let us move on to the next session, and we thank you very much, the finalists.
Thank you,
for your time.
finalists.
Yeah, you may return to your seat now.
Just for your information, if you have any further questions you'd like to ask any of these individual finalists, you have about 10 to 30 minutes after this to mingle around with them and ask whatever you need